Well, look at this. Last night's storm that came in around 7 o'clock, shortly before 7 o'clock, the top of my other spruce tree came down on my garden, right on top of my raspberries and potatoes. So, I believe this tree now will die. A good chunk of the top came down. Its sister tree beside it died a couple of years ago, and it's been falling and breaking ever since. Pieces have been falling off of it. So unfortunately, this one is probably just gonna die now. It may survive, may not. So let's see how much of this tree fell. So this chunk is 9 feet. So that's about 23 feet of the top of that tree that came down. Surely it won't survive that. And if 23 feet came down, that means that tree's got some issues anyway. It stands alone against the wind in this particular spot. Maybe that's what broke it, or is the tree diseased? I don't know. Its sister tree died a couple years ago. Guess we'll wait and see. I'll leave it, see if it starts to die. In the meantime, I better try to salvage what's left of my garden. It looks like the potato plants took the brunt of it. They have the most damage. Okay, you know, it might not be that bad. I only had a few potato plants here anyway. And it looks like maybe 1 or 2 maybe got squashed. And speaking of squash, there's my squash plants. That one took a bit of a beating. This one, that was a potato plant and a squash, I think. I don't remember. Anyways, it's not that bad. It's just a small garden. The bad part is I'm gonna lose another tree. It's surely gonna die. All the pieces I took out, it could be more like 25 feet of the top of the tree come down. If I counted all the little tips and the very tips of the top of the tree. So about 25 feet of that tree came down on my garden. About that. The other piece I put over there. So that's a drag. But there's something going on over in this corner of the property. So there's like 1, 2, 3 spruce that have died. This is probably the 4th. So I better get my generator hooked up, get my fridges and freezer cold again. Power's been out since 7 p.m. last night, around that. It's now 10:30, I believe, in the morning. So I've got to get the fridge and freezer and stuff cold again. Then I'll shut it off, and I got to run into town and pick up a couple things. I can't leave the generator running. There's crackers around here, white trash. They'll come around and steal your generator. I can't say the road they live on. It'll give away my location, but there's some nasty people that live in the area. They like driving around cleaning out cottages when people aren't there. White trash. They've been caught before. They just keep reoffending. There's trouble in all areas, unfortunately. You know, it's funny, when I was a kid, or even a young adult, I was told you don't trespass on people's property, and you certainly don't steal from them. Because if you did, you could get the beating of your life or worse. It's just the way things were in the 70s, 80s. You didn't trespass and steal from people without consequences. Now it seems to be people think they have a right to come on your property and steal things because the police, the courts, the legal system, there's no ramification. There's no punishment for it anymore. So long story short, without getting into a rant, I won't be leaving my generator unattended while I go into town. I'll run it for 3 or 4 hours, shut it off, put it away, and go into town. So that video clip I showed you of the wires down, they don't look like they've even touched it. They've cleaned the tree up that was on the wires, but they haven't even begun to fix the wires. So I have no idea how long that's going to take. This happened at 7 p.m. last night. Around 7 p.m. is when we lost power, the whole entire area. And it's still not fixed. It's 10:30 the next day. You know, you'd be surprised how much these two pieces weigh. There's a comparison to my hand. I wouldn't want these to fall on my vehicle or anything, like even a structure. Well, this has been an interesting 24 hours. 2 major storms came through this area. I have no power in the house, so I'm running a generator. That's what you hear in the background. Thank God I have a generator, because today is supposed to be 45, feels like 45 with the humidity. It's going to be super warm. I left the 2 fridges last night, overnight. Everything was still frozen in my freezer, but I had to plug in the generator today. Yeah, talk about some bad weather. We had severe winds, torrential rains. Never seen that much rain in the 4 years I've been here. It just pounded on the ground. I have really sandy soil, and the water was actually pooling here and there all over the yard, all over the property. I've never seen it do that. Usually when we get rain, even heavy rain, it just dissipates into the ground because of the sand, but it was pooling and puddling everywhere. Yeah, high winds, there's trees down in the area. I don't know, typical storm weather. I have no damage here other than I have no power. But if you looked at it outside right now, you'd never know anything happened. It's clear skies, sunny, hotter than hell, and it's not even 9 a.m. yet. We're supposed to have 4 more days of this kind of weather and possible storms, thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms, even tornado warnings. I hate severe weather. So anyways, I gotta go in the house and charge up some of my battery backup stuff, my cell phone, different things like that. Get everything charged back up. I had a 600 watt battery box. I call it a battery box because that's basically all it is a battery box that I used last night for a little bit of lighting and some charging on my phone. So yeah, I'll get everything charged up, get it all ready to use. I went on the Hydro One website, the outage map. They're estimating 11 p.m. so it may not come back on today, and I could be in the dark for a little while tonight. So I better get all my batteries charged up. That battery box, I can charge my phones and run a couple lamps with LED bulbs. It handles that no problem. At least I don't have to sit in the dark then. My generator I'm using just for my appliances, fridge, freezer, dehumidifier,